Hey there! Welcome back to Happy Human Diaries. In our last video, we talked about how our women can radiate quiet confidence, and today we are having this conversation with our men. We're stepping into a conversation that every man needs to hear, because whether you realize it or not, confidence isn't about being the loudest guy in the room. It isn't about showing off, and it isn't about trying to prove anything to anyone. True confidence, the kind that makes a man magnetic, respected, and quietly powerful, comes from within. And today, I want to share with you 5 habits of men who radiate quiet confidence. Now listen carefully, because these aren't just habits you copy on the surface. They're ways of living, of carrying yourself, that can completely transform how you see yourself and how the world responds to you. So, if you're ready to walk with more power, more ease, and more self-assurance without ever needing to shout about it, stay with me until the end. This might be one of the most important conversations you'll hear this year. Have you ever noticed how some men walk into a room and without saying a word, everybody senses them? They don't need to announce themselves. They don't need to dominate the conversation. Their presence alone speaks volumes. Quietly confident men have mastered the art of presence. What does that mean? It means they show up fully where they are. When they talk to you, they're not distracted, scrolling on their phone or scanning the room for someone more interesting. They look you in the eye. They listen deeply. They make you feel like, in that moment, you are the only person that matters. That's presence. And presence comes from self-control, from being grounded, from knowing you don't need to rush, to fill the silence, or to try too hard. A man with presence doesn't need to do more, he needs to be more. So how can you start building presence? First, slow down. Don't rush your words, don't rush your movements. The fastest way to look insecure is to look like you're in a hurry to impress. Second, own your space. Stand tall, shoulders back, not aggressively, not with arrogance, but with calm assurance. Third, practice silence. Confident men don't fear silence. They know that silence makes words heavier. When you walk with presence, you stop chasing respect and instead you attract it. That's the first sign of quiet confidence. Think about the men you admire most. Do they waste words, or do they speak with weight? Quietly confident men don't talk just to fill space. They don't try to dominate every conversation with endless stories or bragging. Instead, they listen more than they speak. And when they do speak, people lean in because their words carry depth. Why is this powerful? Because restraint is a sign of strength. Any man can talk, any man can argue, any man can shout, but it takes true confidence to sit back, observe, and only speak when they choose to, not when they have to. So, here's a practice for you. The next time you're in a group, try speaking last. Let everyone else throw in their thoughts. Listen, really listen. Then when you speak, make it clear, direct, and intentional. This habit alone shifts how people see you. Instead of being the guy who's always talking, you become the man whose words matter. Remember, a lion doesn't need to roar to prove he's powerful. Sometimes silence is the loudest roar. One of the strongest marks of quiet confidence is how a man reacts under pressure. When life gets stressful, when things don't go as planned, when people are watching, does he panic? Does he lose his cool? Or does he stay grounded, calm, collected? Men with true confidence are like mountains. Storms can rage, winds can howl, but they remain rooted. And listen, this doesn't mean they don't feel fear. It doesn't mean they don't get angry or frustrated. It means they have mastered self-control. They refuse to be ruled by emotions. That makes people trust them. That makes people follow them. So how can you cultivate this? Breathe. Learn to slow your breathing when stress rises. It calms your nervous system instantly. Think long term. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Suddenly, most problems shrink in size. Remember who you are. A man with confidence doesn't let external chaos disturb his internal foundation. When you can remain calm in the face of chaos, you don't just radiate confidence, you radiate leadership. This is a big one. Quietly confident men are not easily swayed by trends, peer pressure, or the need to impress. They live by their own standards. They know who they are, what they value, and what they stand for, and they live consistently with that. See, insecurity comes from outsourcing your worth. When you let society, social media, or other people define what makes you valuable, you'll always be chasing. But when you live by your own code, you walk differently. It could be in the way you dress, the way you spend your money, the way you treat people, the way you pursue your goals. Other men may be loud about what they have, but the quietly confident man doesn't need to brag. His lifestyle, his consistency, and his integrity speak for him. Ask yourself, what do I stand for as a man? What's my code? And am I living in alignment with it daily? The moment you stop trying to please the crowd and start living by your own standards, you stop competing and you start leading. The final habit is this. Confident men are builders. They invest in themselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Think about it. A man who takes care of his body radiates discipline. A man who reads, learns, and sharpens his mind radiates wisdom. A man who manages his money, builds his skills, and nurtures his inner peace radiates stability. Confidence isn't just something you project, it's something you earn daily by the way you show up for yourself. Every workout builds your confidence. Every book you finish sharpens your confidence. Every skill you master strengthens your confidence. Why? Because you're proving to yourself day by day that you can grow, you can improve, you can rise. Quietly confident men don't need to boast about what they're building. The results speak louder than the words ever could. So let's wrap this up. The 5 habits of men who radiate quiet confidence are: 1. They master their presence. 2. They speak less but mean more. 3. They stay grounded under pressure. 4. They live by their own standards. 5. They invest in themselves daily. Gentlemen, confidence is not about being perfect. It's not about being the loudest. It's about being centered, consistent, and committed to becoming the best version of yourself. Remember this: a man who knows himself, respects himself, and carries himself with calm strength doesn't need to demand respect. He commands it. So, starting today, which of these 5 habits are you going to begin practicing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your journey. And if this resonated with you, share it with a brother, a friend, or someone you know is ready to step into their quiet power. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and remember, you don't have to shout to be powerful. This is Happy Human Diaries. New episodes every week. Subscribe and grow with us.